Is your key stuck in the ignition? You can't get it out? I'm going to show you how you can release the key and how you can fix the issue. So as a temporary fix, or just to get the key to release, you can remove this access panel. I'll use a flathead screwdriver, and once the hatch has been removed, there's a little white button. That's the end of the solenoid. You just push that and it'll release the key. But I'm going to remove all 3 of these bolts, and I'm going to replace that solenoid. So I'll use my 7mm socket to remove the 3 bolts that go around the steering column. Once I get all 3 of the screws removed, the steering column is held together by little clips. It's cut in half, and I'll use my tilt, push that down a little bit to get that out of the way, and then I can separate the 2 halves of the steering column cover. Now, here is the part that I need to remove. So I'll use a Phillips screwdriver. This is the ignition release solenoid. It's held in place by 2 little Phillips screws. Once I get those removed, it'll just be hanging there by the wire, and you can see the little white piece on the end, and that's what I was pushing in to release the key. So go around to the other side, and you can see I have to remove this wiring harness. So I'll push up with a screwdriver, and then it will release the plug. Once I get the plug removed, there's a clip that holds the whole wiring harness in place. I just slide that off. And then feed the wire through so that it comes out of the steering column. So now that I have the part out, I've included the part number in the upper left-hand corner, but now that I have the part out, I'm going to take some of the parts off of the old one and put them on the new one. The parts that didn't come with it, you can see it's just a barrel here and spring. I'm going to use the new spring. I'll use the old barrel since it has the little white end on it, and you can see it works very well, moves freely. So I feel pretty comfortable putting that in like that. And I'll take the little metal clip that holds my plug, and I'll put that on the new ignition solenoid. So back to the steering column we go. I'll start out with putting the wire back up through where it goes, and then I will plug it together. So to get it plugged together, I can use my little clip and slide that over the holder there, and that'll hold my wire up and out of the way. So that's in place. Make sure my wire's routed correctly. And you can see there's a little arm here that has to be in place in the solenoid right here so that that moves back and forth, and that's what's going to release the key. So I want to make sure that's in place before I screw my new ignition solenoid into place. So once it's in place like that, and I've got the little lever in the slot on the end of the solenoid, I can tighten it up and it will pop out, as you can see here. So I'll put the screw in loosely, and then I'll readjust and make sure that I get the lever in the slot so that everything works correctly. Now that I've got it stuck in the slot, I can tighten down my 2 screws. Okay, once I get both screws tightened down and I have my lever in place in the solenoid, I can get my key, and I'm going to try it out before I put the steering column back together. So I turn the car to the on position, and the solenoid retracts, and it lets my key out. So that is the issue. So now to put this back together, I'm going to separate the bottom part of the steering column. Just makes it a little easier for me. And I'll put it together in 2 separate pieces. You can see the little hole here that goes with the tab on the upper part of the steering column cover. Just snaps together. And then I can come in with my next piece and it goes together the same way. Just snaps together. Like so. Once I get it snapped together, all that's left to do is put my 3 screws back in. This repair was done on a 2008 Chevy Equinox. If you have one of those vehicles, you may want to check out some of my other Equinox videos. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon for all the latest updates. I'm How To Bob. Thanks for watching.